as close to the window as I can, hopefully picking up some of those birds because I need them right now. It's funny how the pandemic has brought me back to an awareness of what's going on in my country. I gave up after actually running for federal politics. I realized just how bad the situation is politically in this country. Our system is not a political democratic system. Our system is a system of pick the best used car salesman, the one you like the best, the one who is going to tell you what options you have, dictated by profiteers, dictated by business. And I've reviewed, I have a particular interest in the safety of children, particularly their emotional and mental and spiritual well-being in the first 6 years of their lives. And beyond, all the way to our deaths. That's my focus. My focus is everything that my culture has thrown out and my country has thrown out. In this country, we have a war against nature at the moment. We have a war against humanity at the moment. I do not speak about how I personally feel on topics like abortion and public health generally, because I understand that these are fundamentally individual decisions that should be being made by individuals, and we are not doing that in this country. We are having our morals, or lack thereof, dictated by a pull-string doll that gets fed buzzwords and lines like misinformation and disinformation, and immediately accuses anybody who questions his judgment as being a racist misogynist, all-round baddie. And I'm shaking, because I'm one of these people, and I'm not anything that I am accused of being. Meanwhile, while I wasn't paying attention, based on adult ideologies and perceptions of children that we have because of our liberties. I can't get into the whole thing right now, but instead of creating a society that actually revered and had the respect for anyway, if not revered, the respect due roles like motherhood, and actually facilitated healthy mothering and nurturing of children, rather than looking at motherhood as this horrible problem of humanity that we have to fix. People wouldn't feel the need to have to terminate pregnancies because they decided to have some fun and don't want to take the responsibility for it, which is how I feel. Okay? We have forgotten. We have to put what things actually are first. We have to consider that first, and then decide whether or not we want to take the risks associated with that thing, rather than saying, no, we just want to indulge in the good parts of this, and we'll fix whatever problem comes along afterwards. That's literally what I believe. I stopped telling people what to do about that the first time a friend of mine came to me about having one. I never did tell people what to do. I did express my opinion in the early years. Yes, I will admit it. I picketed Morgenthaler's clinic. I will tell you 100%, 100%, having known the people in the community in this city at the time, that his clinic was bombed. Having seen all of the evidence and been here during it and paying attention to the whole thing, that was not anybody associated with our movement. And it was very likely, and it's been hypothesized everywhere, that it was an inside job. Whoever did it had to have had an intimate knowledge of the place, because of the way that it took the clinic out and not other things. Nobody was hurt. The timing, everything. It was anyway. We all know about Black Flag, and you know, how can everybody continue to be so trusting? Anyway, I want to get to the things that make Canada Vulgaria. And Vulgaria, watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Take a look at what Vulgaria is, and you'll get it, what I'm talking about. You're nothing but a bunch of self-indulgent adults that don't want to have to bother with children. What happened to innocence? There is no innocence left. There are certain things that are not appropriate for children. That's why we had some modesty. It wasn't about repressing people. I mean, yes, it was, but it doesn't have to be. Modesty is about the safety and well-being of children. Which, again, I am just appalled that, you know, if somebody decides that a born male, a child with a penis, starts expressing an interest in dressing up in girls' clothing and doing ballet at 3 or 4 years old, and this, rather than just letting the kid go through what they're going, maybe checking in with them on it, but, you know, just let it happen. All of a sudden, you've got people, oh, maybe he's really a girl. And so they encourage that in him, rather than just letting it be. They encourage that in him, in the child. And when the child turns 9, they start saying, you know, they're showing signs of puberty. We need to stop this. We need to stop this. We need to stop it so that we can wait until they can think well enough to make the decision. The problem is, stopping that process is part of what prevents them from being able to reach that developmental place. So in my country, legally, the law is, I believe, 10 and a half. But, you know, depending on signs and symptoms of puberty blocking can be imposed upon a 9-year-old child, irreversibly altering their physiology for the rest of their existence. No matter what decision they make when at 12-ish, between the ages of 10 and 12. I remember this period very vividly. For me, I was thankfully left to my own devices a lot. I was very alone. I had really had no friends. I tried to stay away from people because they just hurt me all the time, or they didn't want me around. And I just sat with myself, and I figured a lot of things out that I sit here now and I look at kids between 10 and 20 years old, and it's like, oh my good Lord, what have we done to the children? So that's one. I just discovered that, yes, in this country, a pregnancy can be terminated up to 40 weeks. Up to 40 weeks. They can end the life of it just so long as that child hasn't passed through the cervix. I don't know. Maybe they might even do it in the canal. I don't know. My son almost died in the canal. Was it a fun experience? You know, there are things I could definitely look back and laugh at. Would I do it again? In a heartbeat. That human being that came out of me is so worth absolutely everything. I'm devastated that full-term abortions are legal in this country. I am devastated. Devastated. I am devastated that in the past couple of months, a woman was allowed legally to kill herself because she could not find housing that was healthy for her to be in. The environmental issues where she lived were making her life insufferable. And they let her kill herself. They let her kill herself rather than find her somewhere healthy to live. That's the country we live in. That's Canada. Willkommen to Canada. And yet, people who don't accept an ethically questionable technology into their bodies. And that's my issue. If they would just approve the traditional whole inactivated virus vaccine and let me know and make it available to me, fuck, I'll pay for it. I will fucking pay for it. Make it available to me. Make it available to me. Stop calling me an evil person. Stop murdering babies in favor of people who, obviously can't have intimate relationships. Are probably going to end up, in their 50s with nobody signing up for legal suicide. Wow, this is a great fucking country, isn't it? I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you for listening. Narrative bullshit. It's propaganda.